Russ, in the pre-show stuff, we were talking. You were just mentioning Super Mario Wonder. What's your take with that game so far, and how long you've been playing it for?
Yeah, well, officially I've been playing it since it released, but also it was available before then, so I did a little bit of testing. I mean, you kind of gotta give me a break because my cat died last week, and I was like, I really need something like to pick me up, and so that game really, really helped. But anyway, so I've been playing it for a while. I'm not super far in it, and that's actually one of the best things about it is that there is no time limit in the game. So I just jump into a level and just take my time, kind of walk around, be like, oh, where does this go? What does this do? You know what I mean? Usually when you're playing like Mario 1 or Mario 3 and there's that time limit, you're just kind of like, okay, I got to go faster because the faster I finish the game, the more points I'll get, even though the points don't mean anything. And so I've always kind of had that little bit of stress when I'm playing a traditional Mario game, and that's not there in this one. So that's amazing. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, really quick. Did you dislike Super Luigi U then? The Luigi one where it was like a minute and a half timer?
Yeah, never even played it.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, I don't want to make Mario harder, like that's not a thing for me. And so, I never even played it. I never got it's the weirdest thing is that I haven't beat a Mario game since Mario 3. Like it's been that long because I never get that far into it. It just gets harder and harder and more stressful. And there's this point where I'm just like, I'm going to go back and play World 1 again because I like the repetitive kind of feel of playing a game, sometimes that exploratory feeling.
It's like
and
this
one definitely has it. Yeah, and the other thing is Mario 2 is my favorite game, Mario Brothers 2, because you get to pick your different characters so they all have a different feel to them. And there's all these interesting mechanics to it. Like you get into a level, you have no idea. You're going to pick your character. You have no idea if that's going to be a good character for that level. You're just kind of guessing, right? And you never know where you're going to end up and how you're going to have to get to wherever you're going to need. There's some really similarities between Super Mario Wonder and Mario 2 as well. Like the fact that they have those, I don't know the names of anything, but in Mario 2,
badges?
you have like the potion.
Yeah, the badges.
Like a potion thing where you go to another world, like a dark world. You know what I mean? And this one, you have that also, you have the little flower thing that'll take you to another world, and it's a whole other dynamic in the same level. And so there's just these little things that to me are parallels between Mario 2, more so than any of the others. I know everyone says it's like Mario World. I don't see that. For me, it's more like Mario 2, and so I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah, so both seem good on hallucinogenics.
Right.
There you have it. So first off, I really like the comparison with Super Mario 2, which is a game that everybody gives crap to, but I always adored. I thought that game was fantastic. You've got the different characters and they all have their own powers, but in this one, everybody plays exactly the same with the exception of Nabbit and somebody else who are basically impervious to anything like that. So your little kids can enjoy the game along with you. But everybody plays the same, but you get all of that customization back through the badges system.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Have you guys found like a favorite badge that you've been sticking with so far, Russ?
No, I'm not super far in the game. I only have like 3 or 4 badges. I've just been sticking with the parachute one just because it can help me in just like in a pinch. I've been really enjoying that. So
yeah, and the other reason I like the parachute one is because you can kind of get to places you're not supposed to get to, and I like the reactions that the little flowers give, like, "Hey, you can come here," stuff like that.
Yeah, I love those guys. I know there's like a way you can turn them off. I'm like, I would never turn those guys off. Like, I love hearing what they have to say.
Yeah, they're very supportive.
Yeah,
they are, and they give you clues too. So like if you're not like sometimes you're not sure what to do, you can get like a little hint. Like there's an area in the background, and I didn't even notice it until I came across one of the flower guys, and he was like, I wonder how you get back there. And I was like, back there. And I stopped and looked, and I was like, oh, there is a thing back there. Let me go try all of the little warp pipes and see if any of them take me back there. One of them did. Yeah. I went and got a thing, like the purple star, which is like, if you're comparing to Super Mario World, it's like the Yoshi coins that you collect, or if you've gone all the way through the game, then the princess coins. So I went back there, got that, and then when I came back, he was like, so you can get back there. And I was like, that was really cool. As far as the badges, I really like the parachute badge too. Although I have been changing things up. If you're on the badge screen and you hit the L button, the prince, I don't know, I skipped over the story stuff and just pressed X to get past it, but the prince will pick one for you, just at random, so you can do different stuff. So like there's one badge where you can have like, do you remember in Super Mario World the exclamation point blocks that you would that you could like hit those and it would unlock like the red ones and then the blue ones or whatever? You can get those as well. And there was like a level that I was on where a bunch of thwomps were coming down, and the blocks blocked the thwomps from hitting me.
That's amazing.
And I never would have picked that as a choice, but because I just hit random, I ended up getting to do that, which I thought was really cool.
So it's like
Rich,
procedurally generated.
Almost.
Yeah.
I've been playing it, and so Russ, you've been playing exclusively emulated, it sounds like.
Back and forth, I just made a video about it, and so I was showing a little bit of it. But yeah, I'm my save game is in emulation, and so I've been moving that across platforms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say I didn't want to set up emulation because it was just, I'm in the middle of like 3 different videos, right? And so I just didn't feel like I had the time to set up what I wanted to set up. So I just started playing it on the Switch, and it's the first time I've really been playing on the Switch since the Steam Deck came out. And so it prompted me, because my hands do cramp up a little bit on just the regular Switch. It did prompt me to buy a Nitro Deck, so it's on the way.
Oh,
like,
that's
all
fun.
the marketing that they've been doing heavily on that thing, like I'm like, all right, let me try it. Let me see if it works for me. So I did like next day delivery on the Nitro Deck, but I've been enjoying the game. I like that. Have you noticed that like if you don't get everything, it doesn't give you like the little check mark on the map screen? So I'm a little bit of a completionist sometimes, and so like those things bug me. So I go back and try to get the check mark. So kind of like you, Russ, I haven't gotten too far. Some of that is just me going back to play levels I already did.
Right.
I like the like. Oh, I didn't even think about alternate exits until I found one, and I'm like, oh right, alternate exits. So yeah, it's been fun to get back into Mario.
Yeah, if you read about the development
Go
of the game. I was going to say, we read about the development of the game. They talk about how the developers were not given a deadline. They were just like, create, and they did. And I think that's part of that, and so I really love it. There's a part with those little flower guys in the very first level. I played it a bunch when I was working on my video, so I kind of like, I noticed the little things, and it says, oh, that Goomba is sleeping so peacefully. And then if you kill the Goomba, he goes, well then. That's all he says. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's this little thing in the very first level, and it's just those little touches are so nice.
I noticed while I was playing yesterday, I have a little bit of an aversion to like bumping the Goombas in this game. I don't know what it is. Like I bump all the Goombas, so this is new to me. This is uncharted territory. But for some reason, I have a little bit of aversion, and I'm playing a little bit pacifist in this game, and maybe it's because there's so much more personality.
Right. It's the thing is, like, if you look at the Goombas in, like, Mario World, those guys are jerks. Like, they see you and they come for you. You know what I mean? These ones, they're just kind of living their lives. Like, you don't need to murder them,
Yeah,
so
that's it.
I have no problem murdering the Goombas, even a little. I like the new Goombas that have, like, a shell, and you have to, like, hit them once to get rid of that shell, and then you got to hit them a second time. I like the way that they look. Like, they look really cool. And everything in this game looks alive and fantastic, and my God, they should have done this years ago to the Mario franchise. It's just so different, and like even the jump sounds different. It's just it's really, really amazing. I got almost half the badges, so I've been playing a ton. And, Rich, you talked about comfort. Oh, man. My Pro Controller had drift, so I ended up, like, chucking it because it wasn't connecting, and when it did connect, there was drift because I had it since I bought the Switch. So I ended up chucking it, and I haven't bought a new one because I haven't been playing any Switch games except for Tears of the Kingdom, which I didn't really feel that, like, it didn't really bother me all that much. But with this game, I am getting hardcore cramps in my hands when I'm playing it, and I need to either pick up a new Pro Controller or that thing. But at the same time, like we're at the end of the Switch's life cycle, and
I know,
don't want to
right.
spend that money on this thing that's I'm going to use for this game, and I probably will never play again. I don't know what else Nintendo has planned, but I know that I'll just end up getting the next Switch, and so I feel like I'm throwing money away by buying an accessory for my Switch that I 100% guarantee won't work with whatever Nintendo brings out next. So I don't know. Carrie, I know that you haven't been super hyped for this because you prefer 3D Mario, if I'm remembering correctly, to 2D Mario. Have you played Super Mario Wonder yet?
Nope, haven't played it yet. I will play it eventually someday, but I don't have any particular drive to play it at the given moment. I see different people on Twitter like sharing different things. Like there's one guy just speedrunning a level by jumping on bubbles. Apparently, people didn't know that you could do it, and it looked pretty obvious from my point of view. But I haven't played it, so there's just like little things from there. But for me, like when I look at Mario Wonder, the only thing I get from it, especially from the early trailers, is I would probably say like the secret sauce that Nintendo does is they've been doing it forever, but they sweat the little details, and the little details are what I think a lot of people wind up liking. Like Russ mentioned, like like it's it's just a tiny little thing that would have been easily missed, but it's just this correlation between what you're doing and how the game is reacting. But even when you look at Mario Wonder, the game looks absolutely fantastic, even though the Switch is a low-powered device. You look at every Nintendo game, Luigi's Mansion 3 that came out, right?
Gorgeous.
That looks amazing on the Switch.
Yep.
And it's like, these guys are going the next level of just tuning, mapping every little bit that they can. They're like, well, this is almost a free performance thing, right? Like, it doesn't cost us anything. But if we do our work and we just go and max out how mapping works on and how that looks, and just spending the time, I think, is like the secret sauce that Nintendo has. And it's probably exemplified basically just listening to what you guys are saying. So I'm probably going to enjoy it when it comes out. But the only game I've been playing has been Spider-Man 2.
Which we will definitely be talking about very shortly, because I do want to talk about that. But one thing that I wanted to mention about Mario Wonder is something that I know that Russ, there's no way that Russ has experienced this yet because he's been playing it emulated. And I talked to Rich, and Rich, you said that you have not tried the online mode. Okay, so the online mode is really cool. Like, I am very shocked that Nintendo, first off, they are notorious for being bad at everything internet. This is a very interesting way to handle online multiplayer with a platformer. So first off, I have not played with friends yet. I've just been playing it with like randoms. So when you're playing the game, you can go to you can just bring up your map screen or your start button and you can say, go ahead and connect. And then the next time that you go into a level, there's going to be other people there, and they're like semi-transparent. And you can see them like moving around and doing stuff. And if they squat down and they press the duck button and they press, I think it's X, it doesn't matter. They press a button, they'll leave behind this little stand-up, like a cardboard stand-up of their character. And it's in a shadow, like it's blacked out, almost like it's turned around and you're just looking at the black silhouette of this cardboard cutout. And if you get killed, you turn into a ghost, and you have 5 seconds or something to either have another player rescue you. So like when you're playing, you can see other ghosts and they'll be screaming, help me, help me, help me. And you can just go touch that ghost and it comes back, which is cool. But if nobody's around and you're playing online, then there will be little cardboard cutouts. And if you have touched it once before, it'll go from being this black cutout to being like, Mario or Peach or Yoshi, and you can see like the character. And if you can ghost swim back to that, it'll revive you. And then that player gets like credit for saving people. It's really cool.
That is cool.
And then there's this other thing where sometimes when you're playing and you get to the end it'll say in the bottom left, it'll be like blue toad got to the end or finished the level or something. And sometimes I've finished the level and I haven't figured out what this is or how this works yet, but they'll be not transparent and they'll get on like the flagpole at the end of the level with me and it'll be like everybody got to the end together. And I'm like, I'm not sure how that is working. There's some kind of weird online magic that Nintendo's doing here, which is not something I thought I would ever say because they're so bad at it. But if you obviously, Russ, because you're playing it emulated, you'd have to you'd lose your save if you booted it up on your Switch, so you can't do that. But Rich, you got to try it. It's really cool.
I will. Yeah, that sounds really fun. And I know I haven't played with the kids yet, but I know my 2 kids, they've been playing multiplayer together and they seem to be enjoying that. So yeah, it seems like they delivered on all fronts.
Yeah, my oldest
absolutely.
son, he's really into like difficult games right now. He's like going through and 100%ing Celeste right now. I mean, he's just crazy about that stuff. And
awesome.
I taken the cartridge hostage up until last night because I was making my video about it. But I gave it to him. And I was like, hey, here it is. And he like stayed up late and then like went to sleep and then woke up early and he's just been playing it the whole time. And so he's probably going to beat it today. Like he's just really into it right now, which is awesome.
That's great.
Gamer cred.
Yeah.
Gamer cred. Russ,
Yeah.
something before we move on, something that reminds me of is that, like you said, you haven't beat Mario's. But I will say, like, a lot of the Marios since Mario 3 and now, like, I feel like they have 2 different endings, right? So, like, I feel like you're a great candidate for the first ending of all the Marios, right? Like, you make it to the first end and it's okay. Like, you've done all the, like, major content. Most of it is approachable. And they give you like a proper ending, right? But then after that is when, like, all right, you put the kids to bed. It's like it's time for some like hardcore Mario time.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that I enjoy, and maybe what your son enjoys. But
Yeah, I would just watch that on YouTube if I wanted to see the alternative ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's also, another thing that I really like about this one is that the levels have star ratings that tell you how hard they are. So,
I like that.
Russ, who doesn't want to do the hard ones, he could do 5-star. F that, I'm out of here. I'm just going to go do a couple of 1-star ones, get enough wonder seeds or whatever they're called to unlock the boss room.
So the thing is about that is actually when I see that it's got a lot of stars, I'm like, let's try it. You know what I mean? Because if I die, it's fine. It was supposed to be hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're playing other games, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. And so I actually really do appreciate that because it gives me a feeling of like satisfaction. Like, for example, if I just beat a game or beat a level that has 4 stars, I feel good about it. Even if I didn't 100% it, I still did enough. You know what I mean? Then I can move on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so that's actually been really helpful for me.